Well, I always did say you can judge an artist by the way they drop feet, because it's really rare to draw feet, and these might be the best looking feet. It's not me.
Yeah,
I literally paused here, and they started down here for a reason. They were showing it off.
That was a comment that people made about Three Houses Sothis outfit Byleth, that she had like just bare feet for whatever reason, because Sothis does, I guess.
By the way, anybody who watched my Three Houses, whenever I play Three Houses, I have male Byleth dressed like this. The reason why I do it is because I think it looks so ridiculous. So for me to see, like, after all this time, this becomes canonical, at least in Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah.
Just dressing like this.
Dressing in the Sothis. It is exceptionally ostentatious, but again, it looks fine.
It looks fine.
No
matter how
throwing more money at a gotcha streamer.
I like the difference in the hairstyle.
Thank you for 2 years. Appreciate it. No, well, her hairstyle is probably the best thing about it. You know, this barely looks like... If you never saw Byleth before, and you showed a person a picture of Sothis Byleth, or sorry, Brave Byleth, and then showed them a picture of base Byleth, they probably wouldn't figure it out. It would have been so different.
Blindside. I mean, I will say though, I appreciate that they're giving the Three Houses artist another chance after Dimitri, though.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
Fujisaki Kimihiko is Dimitri's. Oh, Brave Dimitri.
Legendary.
Sorry.
Yeah, legendary.
Legendary.
Yeah, Mr. Hand doesn't actually go on the lance, man.
Is this a man or a woman?
Fujisaki Kimihiko? I want to say that would be a woman, but I have to double check that.
Yeah, aren't you Japanese? You can tell gender, can't you?
I thought for some reason, Legion, I thought you were saying man as in like the artist, but you're talking about Dimitri.
Oh,
okay.
What?
Really quickly, Legend Dimitri, for those who forgot why he looks so awkward, despite having the original artist of Fire Emblem, Three Houses in it, his head was so tiny.
Yeah, the head was definitely... Yeah,
the shading was a bit strange in places.
Yes.
It definitely seemed like there were like the special art, for example, fantastic. But it felt like some parts were just unfinished.
Yes. So I'm really glad that they polished up for... Because I didn't tell. I thought this was a different artist, really.
Honestly. The improvement, I mean, not necessarily improvement, but just the polishing is definitely a lot better here.
Yeah.
This is some really good art.
Okay, really quickly, stat spread, 39 HP, 55 attack, 43 speed, 26 defense, and 24 res. That's not bad.
Keep in mind, BST bump.
Oh, so what is her BST now?
Let's find out. Was 41.
She is a 41-43 offense.
173 BST, colorless mage flyer.
Oh god, please tell me it doesn't speed res hold.
That is speed res. No. Yeah, it looks like speed.
That is speed res. That's speed res hold.
That wasn't a res one. No.
Sorry.
Oh, it's my. Sorry, is my super chat actually broken? Death stream Sam Roblox account. Oh no, it's right there. Thank you.
But.
Oh, it's not even saying it out. Why? I'll read it. Watch them add something for the older generation to keep up with the newer meta, like Divine Refines, or add Ascendant Alphonse, Sharina, and Anna to keep up. Even if they save Alphonse, Sharina, and Anna, they probably wouldn't let us use them in Arena, and it still wouldn't be the same thing. It'd just be like another copy of them.
It would be, the way I see it, just give them new skills like a remix and a better refine, because honestly, an unmerged unit with a great refine can still be usable. Plenty at that. Just give them new ones.
But at the rate they're doing refines, it makes us doubt on re-refines.
Exactly. That's the problem. There is a point where re-refines don't need to happen for older units. That point is way too close to now, and there's so many units that suck because of it, and I feel bad.
Sometimes you just gotta let them go. You know?
Yeah.
Old Yeller broke his foot. Old Yeller, take him to the back of the barn, and then get your shotgun out.
Yeah, I gotta put down Katarina like the dog. Nope.
I'm kidding, don't do that. But you should probably just stop using your older Gen 1 heroes. Is probably the realistic thing at this point.
Refuse to stop using Legion. He at least got somewhat blessed.
He's more usable than most Gen 1 units by a long shot.
Yeah, like Gunter, for example. He sucks.
Yep. And Evan won't even give him the premium skills.
Yep,
He's
he won't even
stuck
say
on
anything.
attack speed.
He won't even say anything.
Yeah, he only has G-Dual Cavalry 4.
Yeah, and attack speed push 4 is the best attack speed skill you could give him.
All right, let's continue this on. Inner Wellspring, Slaying ability. At start of turn, if units within 2 spaces of an ally, grants not follow-up to unit for 1 turn. That is so ridiculously good. I like how they took the idea of Byleths and put it here. Right.
It's basically like Time's Pulse mixed with Goddess Bear. You know, these 2 C slots of the Byleths.
Very reminiscent of Duo Sothis.
Oh yeah, right. That is what a Duo skill does.
Yes. And also, special cooldown count is at its maximum value. Grant special cooldown count -1. That's immense. Now follow up on a flyer, especially a range flyer. Mage? That's like unheard of. That's unheard of, basically.
I'm pretty sure colorless mage flyers are just slow. So this is obviously already breaking ground in that regard.
Right. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants all stats +5 to unit during combat, and if special triggers before or during combat, grants special cooldown count -1 after combat. That's ridiculous. That basically means she'll always have Divine Pulse.
Yeah, that spiral is dumb. It's kind of funny because on the one hand, it's like you really have both Spiral and Time's Pulse on a slaying 1 cooldown special, but trust me, with the way special manipulation is these days, you need it.
By the way,
it reminds me a lot of Set and Burrito's weapon.
Yeah.
From the perspective of a mage, this is easily... I thought Celica was good for very similar reasons. Because she doesn't die and she has null follow-up. That's why I think she's so good. And she's colorless. What is... Oh my god, did Byleth actually power creep? No, let's not go there yet.
Celica's Desperation.
And also Celica doesn't get pierced by, like, Deadeye and Lethality.
But Celica doesn't have Divine Pulse, so she doesn't hit as hard.
This much is true. Although she does have some true damage per hit, to at least
Byleth has all the advantages of null follow-up without needing to...
Okay, as I said, let's not get into this. We'll get into this when stats and stuff are out. That makes more sense going in then.
Right, but this is only our second colorless mage flyer. Bride Micaiah was their only...
Oh yeah, right. There's only 2.
Right. So the reason why this is so devastating is because she does more damage really quickly. Damage increased by 25% unit speed, reduced damage from foes' next attack by 75%, and unit's next attack deals damage equals 20% unit speed. That is immense. Because she has null follow-up, good luck outspeeding her. Well, actually, we know her speed. But it's going to be hard to outspeed her. And if you can't outspeed her, with 75% damage reduction, she's probably going to survive. And from the respect that she always seems to shoot first, unless they're melee or something, she's basically always going to have that like layered of damage reduction.
Yeah, literally, and she basically is just Claude, but more damage, like, concentrated.
Yep.
A lot more damage, and for some reason, the special gets to be the Fallen Star. But nevertheless, that is a dangerous special. It still doesn't cut... She doesn't cut damage reduction, that's the only thing.
Yes.
She's very consistent, but she will never be able to completely crush damage reduction.
That's for the best, because if she did, she would have literally killed Celica, who's not even 2 months old.
Yes.
She'd kill almost any mage at that point.
And her B skill, being inheritable, could be really good for speedy ranged units.
So that's not even talking about her B slot.
Okay, well, to be clear, I don't think a lot of heroes can use this as nicely as she can. The reason why Byleth will pull this off, instant special is what makes her so deadly. But very few heroes would ever pull that off.
Yeah, I'm not...
If you can. If you have a slaying unit, like a slaying ranged unit who's speed...
They know what they're doing with this. I'll just say that. Because it's a no threshold advantage. But first of all, it is ranged only. And second, you have to actually have speed. Meaning that Vantage Sweepers can't be Brave Weapon Sweepers, and you can't Vantage Sweep everything by default.
Yes.
It's a very dicey combo that will lean into a very specific class of units, and you have to keep in mind, the B-slot is very competitive. And while this has ridiculous, like, this seems like it goes almost anywhere, there's not going to be a lot of units that can use it right anywhere.
Well, you have...
Wait a second.
It's on a mage flyer, and it's implied for Savior.
This is 240, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 240.
Most likely, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, there are actually no 300 SPP slots on this banner. That's kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah, other than Tiki's PRS.
I mean, perf, but yeah, there actually are none. I thought there would be.
That's interesting.
The scary thing about preempt, though, is if they change up the condition, for example, if they do attack preempt, it could be you just have to out-attack them, and then you get
that would be bad. Yes, if they ever decide to go past speed and do a different stat, then we have a problem. But until they do that, it's not so bad. Speed preempt is definitely niche.
Yes, it's niche, but I worry about the other preamps. Those could be very
if those
scary.
happen.
If
fair.
those happen.
Can I mention that
If
the
they-
icon made me do a double
Yeah, I
take?
thought it was an
I
evasion.
almost thought it was the evasion
vantage
vantage
too,
until
when
I
I
saw
realized she was ranged.
If it was a
Yes.
dodge-based vantage and it was just like 80% dodge on like 80% vantage on dodge, that would be stupid.
The good news about it, though, is that it's consistent, always -4 speed on them, so the speed check is a little easier.
Yes, there is
the
that.
fact that it
there
has
is that.
stats augmentation in it is huge.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Seliph, which, by the way, God,
It's so uninspired.
Byleth is one thing.
Byleth is going to be pretty damn annoying. This
No,
is
in terms of art.
Well,
In terms
yeah,
of art.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The art looks
Seliph.
great, but it's just
Seliph.
Sigurd.
When we started with
They
Byleth,
did-
I was already like not that happy about it. I actually thought it was kind of whimsical and funny. But Seliph, come on.
It's amazing art in my opinion because they
I actually really do
purposely
like
didn't
it.
make them look like Lynn this time.
No, it's great art. It's just the
I mean-
concept is.
I
what
mean,
falls
to be
flat.
fair, you only have so many ways to go about Seliph when you've already
You could
got
go with
Legendary and
Julia. You
Scion.
could go with, you could go with a different Crusader. You could go with a Julia based.
They're not going to go that different Crusader. There are, Julia would be weird. I honestly, personally like that they're bringing back Sigurd's design again. Personally. But
Yeah,
I
it's true.
understand the sentiment.
I feel like it's just repeating. I don't know.
I was
And not to
expecting
mention
like a
it-
Julia or Deirdre type thing,
I
but
also-
yeah, I'm happy with the Sigurd thing.
I like it from...
Listen, once we cover his face, now tell me who is this?
It's small
Who is
Sigurd.
this?
I see a
I don't know, those
ponytail.
hands are pretty
I see
small,
Sigurd.
so I'd say...
That's Sigurd. That's
Sigurd.
One
Nah,
year
it's
subscription
fine.
anniversary.
Sigurd's hands are too big for this.
It's that's
What
why I say
Sigurd
just
has a
small Sigurd.
ponytail.
But, honestly, though, I like it. If nothing else, I like that we're getting another throwback to using parents' clothing. Because it's been a while since we've had that.
Yeah,
For
but
Choose Your
with-
Legends.
Yes, but
well,
it feels
with Ike, it was good, but the
it
Seliph
feels
Sigurd
different
thing,
because
they keep doing
the other
it.
parents weren't featured heavily in the games. Is the thing. So
Right.
For example, for Ephraim, it was Fado's armor, but you never really see Fado in
Yeah.
Sacred Stone, so it felt pretty unique. Like it was a
That much
flowing
is
cape
true.
and green armor. But with Sigurd, I mean, you see him like all the time. It's not that strange to
Yeah.
see his clothing. So yeah, he could have looked like Finn. That's
Finn
true.
has nothing to do with Seliph. That's all Leaf.
Well, okay, that's true. But he could have done something. I don't know. He could have taken something out of Oyfe's book. Or
All right,
Remakes.
well, the point is, this is the safest brave hero I've seen in 5 years. There's never been anything safer.
I'd
Gatekeeper
say-
doesn't have any design changes
Keeper literally
whatsoever.
did not change, yeah.
Well, I'd say.
I mean,
Wow.
his art is absolutely fantastic, but his art is literally him.
The thing of Gatekeeper, I will admit, we wanted that.
We did kind of want that, though. That
the
is
only thing I
true.
could think of that would be equal this in like lack of creativity would be the Three Houses ones. They're just time skip.
You all time skip all.
Okay, well, it
All
didn't
designs.
feel bad because that was like their reveal, but for
to
Sigurd,
men-
it felt like we were expecting something. This is how many Sigurds do we have right now?
Three. Masquerade, Dancer, Sigurd, Legendary, and Base.
Right.
Oh, just three. Okay.
I don't know. It already felt like they did this, to be honest. That's what it felt like to me. Even if
Yeah.
it's not 1-to-1.
But nevertheless, safe as it is, I still really do like this, and I like Seliph having good art because he deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
All right,
I like that
listen.
it looks good. I won't deny
This
that.
is literally his father. Guys, once again, let's try this again. Doesn't that just look like his dad? Boom. Who is this? That just looks like Sigurd's stance and everything. Come on.
It's a very angry Regan with a sword that
Ugh.
is not a goon bursty.
Seliph is still a little smaller, but that's about it.
It's hard to tell when they're like extended like this, to be honest, but alright, I get what you mean. Alright, anyways, Holy Tide Tirefing, Canto 2, that's already good. Slaying ability. It's 2022. Everybody gets slaying.
Playing is just the objective best way to go.
Yep. If unit or foe initiates combat after moving to a different space, grants attack speed defense res +5 to the unit during combat, deals damage equals number of spaces moved by whoever initiated combat, max times 4, max
I like
4 times
this.
10 of foe's defense, except when dealing damage with AoE specials. And this,
As
wow.
if that wasn't enough.
This is like a run-on sentence. And also, if unit's HP is over 25% or equal to it at start of combat, unit's HP HP is over 1, and foe would reduce unit's HP to 0. Unit survives with 1 HP. So as I was saying,
That is a
when I
run-on
first-
sentence.
The Ascended
Yes.
Celica effect.
Literally the entire thing between the slaying and the parentheses of the condition for miracle is one sentence.
Yes. Listen, this already makes him stupendously amazing. They basically took the concept of Sigurd and realized, hey, what's Sigurd's problem right now? He dies like a lot nowadays.
He
Once commits to
dies,
the
and
fight, he
also his
dies.
damage. Surprisingly, his damage is just mid.
Yeah, it's fallen off as well. So they took it to another level by making the movement generate extra damage. It's all stats plus 5. It's slaying, and it makes sure he survives at the end of it.
Yep, which I'm glad that they're actually giving him Seliph Miracle, because I feel like that's an identity that didn't really mean much to him, because his Scion Leaf, that miracle doesn't work half the time, and with base Seliph, that
it's
miracle
just so gimmicky.
Yeah, that miracle doesn't work anymore. So I'm really happy that they're going harder on it. And that mechanic, and funnily enough, Pokemon Conquest, there is a mechanic that actually is this. The more spaces you move, the more damage you do. So I was kind of surprised to see that here. That's a really nice mechanic.
Mechanic is great for so many things in AR.
You guys all say that, but Langrisser Mobile had this forever. The mechanic of cavalry. It's the charge mechanic, right? If a cavalry sprints longer, it will have more force. So, and it do more damage, therefore. So it's really surprising they took all this time to put it into Feh. But the reason why I believe Feh had struggled with this, Langrisser Mobile doesn't have units moving 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. They have them moving 5 spaces, 7 spaces. That's when it starts making a lot of sense, right? But for this game, because the mobility is so limited, I was surprised it would do this. But with that said, very few heroes would make very good use of this concept. Basically, it comes down to Sigurd and Seliph, essentially, because very few units can move this many spaces to make it work.
I would say cav units in
depends on
general
the scaling.
make use of it. And if you're getting attacked by a cav unit.
The ceiling matters a lot, obviously, but that extra movement of space is what catapults it, because that extra movement, right? Maximum 4, that's what catapults the damage output to another level.
Yep, absolutely. That plus one movement, jeez. That plus 1 movement, just I'm already thinking about it, jeez.
Okay, but I do want to say
it
something.
does help him out a lot.
I do want to say something. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. You, everybody here, correct me if I'm wrong. That's low speed defense in his B slot.
Yep.
Why?
Low speed defense on a 5-star lock? Because he already has no follow-up, and he already has Kanto, so...
They could have given him, well, no, they couldn't have given him Float Guard, because that would have been redundant.
Yeah, that's the problem. He actually would only... This is the only non-redundant B slot without making something new.
That's true, yeah.
It sucks. It sucks, but literally, what can he do?
He would have to have a non-unique A slot, and then
or
change
tier 4
the
lull, which I doubt they want to do at the same time as Clash.
It just feels so underwhelming. It feels so out of place. It feels like something we got 3 years ago.
But to be fair, it's still good. Lulls are still good.
Lulls are great.
I mean, I'll take it, honestly. As silly as it is to see that on such a premium unit, I will take it. I mean, especially considering it means the foddering is less guilt, because you literally just take Clash. I'm okay with that.
Alright. It still bothers
me.
Well, anyways,
we'll eventually get a Clash 3, and then maybe it'll be good fodder.
Which, speaking of, Clash.
Alright, 40 HP, 59 attack, 41 speed, 37 defense, 18 res. I do want to know his BST, though.
Let me figure that out. I should...
I think. I have the BSD for everyone here. He is 180. Yeah, 179. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one.
Oh yeah, ha ha ha. He has the half of Light and Dark.
Oh yes, that's true. That's true.
Actually,
yeah, so Seliph is
kind of absurd.
Yeah, we have 180 Cavaliers.
180 Cavaliers. Oh my god.
Cavaliers are now beating out Gen 2 armors. Let's go.
Did you guys ever think it was so obnoxious that they barely give up, well, now especially, they barely give up any BST for these massive advantages? And before you say, well, that's still some BST, well, Seliph min-maxed them to all heck. This man only has 18 res in 2022.
Yeah, his HP and res are low. He's got huge attack and speed and good defense.
He definitely made...
when you have Miracle.
this is the kind of thing that that makes also Christian Lamont is reacting to this right now, the voice actor
nice.
Seliph. But yeah, cute. That said, it's kind of interesting because that's the whole thing that happens with new BST gens. Where Dragon Flowers can give you universal buff, the BST is what gives them concentration on a couple stats. And that's what makes them so scary.
Sword Self again. I mean, they were gonna play it safe somewhere down the line. It was either gonna be Chrom, Seliph, or Byleth, because they could all use a sword.
Or all three.
Until they decide to remake it, all we have for Seliph as an identity is swords.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, with that said though, Clash, really quickly chat. If a unit or foe initiates combat after moving to a different space, grants bonus to the unit's attack speed during combat, X plus 6, X equals number of spaces moved by whoever initiate combat, maximum 4. If X equals or greater to 2, neutralize the unit's penalties to attack speed during combat. This thing is busted. It makes no sense how good this is.
Well,
it's for starters, it's dual face.
Yeah.
Why is
as long as somebody moves, meaning you can't play idle, then this skill just works. And it will grant you a minimum of 7.
Yes.
So, what its max, it would be doing
10.
4 attack and 6 speed. And
for 10.
And neutralizing your
10
penalties
each.
to attack and speed.
Do you realize how ridiculous that is? That is 20 stats at maximum and the ability to not worry about your penalties.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wait, 20 stats?
It's plus 10 to each.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, I see. Okay.
It's
yeah, no.
Yeah, I see. That's actually really good. Yeah.
The only thing is, in order for that to happen, in order to get that plus 10, though, you have to move 4 spaces, which means you have to be Seliph or somebody
Sigurd.
buffed by Sigurd.
You can still, even if you only move 2 spaces,
How
you
does
get
the
plus
math count
8.
for
I'm actually
Pathfinder
curious about the
spaces
Pathfinder
moved?
part. That could be the changer on that.
Actually, Pathfinder does count as a space travel.
Oh, wait. Does it count as a space travel? I thought it actually counts that as 0.
Oh,
and that's the way it works.
Warping doesn't work with this stuff.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure since Pathfinder...
So here's the thing. It
Pathfinder
nullifies the
works.
movement cost, but it still counts as a movement. But I guess we'll see.
It counts as 0, so like if as long as you use your max movement.
So think of it this way.
The map.
Well, I'm not sure about that. A lot of games depends on how the game programs it, because if it a lot of games have it like movement cost. If it moves forward 1 space, say you can move 3 movements, it drops from 3 to 2, move another one 2 to 1. But by moving over a space that doesn't cost a cost, it just stays at 3. But it still counts as a move. It depends on how they programmed it, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. This is definitely an interaction that has to be simmed. But either way, it's under the assumption that Pathfinder doesn't work, then you're only going to get a maximum of 9 in a realistic scenario.
Pathfinder would work, because
You'll
otherwise
get 10 if you're
would
using
utilize
Seliph,
4.
though. Seliph or Sigurd.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, sure, yeah.
With how many stupid movement buffs we're getting nowadays, but yeah, no, 4 seems like the extenuating circumstance, and some movements
like
can be 4.
Sigurd. Yeah.
That's like the absolute maximum a unit can move.
Okay, so really quickly, this man can hit, I believe, 10 plus 5, 15 plus 3. 18.
And we don't know what his C skill does.
So realistically, 9, 14, 23 potential attack and speed during combat, if I'm not mistaken.
He's hitting 82.
And then, of course, he takes up to 40% of your defense and throws it back at you.
We have no idea what his C slot does, right?
No, it's right here.
We know.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's right.
I counted the visible buff.
Sorry.
I counted that.
What is with you, Dex? What is with you today?
I don't know. I just screwed up. Well, the first thing was just because I was misinterpreting the description. I thought it was adding it for both stats and not just, or for one stat, not just both. But
okay, well,
anyway.
basically what happens is Seliph runs into your face and then you explode.
You
That's
literally
the
blow
idea.
up.
Yeah.
And the more of his movement you abuse, the better.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he is just saying outright Summoner Duel is nightmare. This is going to be a problem.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
gonna be-
that's the thing. He's everything... Okay. He's almost everything that Sigurd offers, because there's no extra buff for everybody
No
to move
support.
one extra. Yeah,
No support, but honestly, I don't think that even is what makes Sigurd... I mean, yeah, it's what makes Sigurd himself scary, but what makes...
Right.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
what makes units scary in general in summoner duels is themselves, not supporting by being aggressive. And Sigurd needs to run Trace on his B-sled. Seliph gets a flat canter too.
That's why I was going to bring up. The reason why I hate using Sigurd is because whenever I throw him into the battle, I don't like the idea like, well, write him off now because he's going to die.
Yep, he's there. I mean, sure, he can live mages to the end of the universe, but that's about it. Otherwise, realistically, he if you don't run Trace, he's stuck there. And even if you do, realistically, since you're using his forward movement, he's going to get one move. Woo. Whereas Seliph always gets two. Flat Canto is one of the most powerful things ever. And Seliph is making the full use out of that.
You know, despite everything I just said about Sigurd, I've seen those madmen use Sigurd, and I'm like, okay, so that's how you use him.
Sigurd is still terrifying.
Yeah.
Sigurd is still terrifying and don't get me wrong, Seliph is not going to outright like power creep Sigurd in all ways because that support can completely change a match. And ruin your life.
He's going to be very annoying with Pathfinder teams just because of his survivability in comparison to Sigurd.
Yep, and the fact and his damage compared to Sigurd. Honestly,
he has a higher threshold, and he's better against units that that would be stopped by stuff like null follow-up, whereas Sigurd struggles against units with wear.
Also,
and stuff like that.
The biggest thing to note, Seliph isn't slow, which means that Reven, Thor don't target him with stall by default.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, Sigurd is a stall beacon. Seliph is not.
Yeah.
With that said, that's still somebody gets hit by it no matter what. So.
Well,
but you can maneuver around it a little easier.
At the very least, if Seliph is the one getting the +1 move, it's easier to keep him away from the unit getting stalled, which is much better.
All right. Anyways, he needs to be next to somebody for him to be busted. Attacks people 6, null flop, and extra movement. Yeah, place him next to somebody.
Yeah, or just within 2 spaces. It's insane.
Yeah, just near someone.
Oh wait, sorry, next to 2 spaces.
Yeah. No, this is absolutely so much movement coverage. His damage is nuclear. Obviously, doesn't cut through damage reduction, but who cares? He's gonna be a problem.
It feels like they clearly try to make him a 2nd place winner this time. Last year, chat, I'm gonna be honest, I thought Brave Marth was ridiculous. I was like, how's this guy's 2nd place winner?
2nd place ended up having more impact overall than 1st place last year, I'd say. Well, actually, was Erica 1st or 2nd? I can't remember anymore. Okay, then I'd say
Seliph is definitely trying to be the brave Erica of this batch.
Yes, that's true.
So the reason why I brought that up is because this year it feels like they figured out, hey, that was not the best idea. That's why Seliph has Luna and lull speed defense, which just feel really out of place.
Oh yeah, Potter wise.
Well, the special is always going to be, unless they have a pro special, it's always going to look a little silly.
Yeah,
like that's happened with other CYLs too.
Yeah, Marth just got blessed with an amazing kit.
Brave Edelgard has noontime.
Brave Edelgard has distant ward.
Yes,
we don't talk about her
too.
kit. Android. We don't talk about Brave Edelgard's kit.
Oh. And I just wanted to say for Seliph, this continues the trend of Wada Sachiko doing one CYL unit for every.
Yeah, Wada Sachiko is on a roll with these.
Yes.
All right.
First Roy, then Ephraim, Elliewood, Claude, Erica, and Seliph.
By the way, did Penacor ever do Tiki before? Because he did a great job. I assume it's Key.
Not that I know of. Yeah, I think Penacor's a guy.
Penacor, no, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this is I'm almost certain this
There's
is
only
first.
There's only 3 adult Tikis. The bad one, the worst one, and this one.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's the start with the bad one? I'm just like, aren't they all bad?
They're both terrible. I mean,
I meant to say bad one art-wise, but then I'm thinking, no, they just suck.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Summer Tiki at least has good art.
No, they nerfed her art, remember? They took her butt cheek away.
Yeah, that's right.
Think back
Sad.
and think on the good times.
The times when adult Summer Tiki had a full butt cheek.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I didn't know I needed that in my life. I want to see a 3,000-year-old dragon in a swimsuit with melons and a butt cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And
now I'm going to see her in her child form clothing.
Yep.
So weird.
It's a real mind trip.
Why do they do this? It really bothers me. Because
I wish they based it off Naga.
Right. Like, they had better choices. The reason... Okay, I'm going to reiterate for those who weren't there. The reason why this really bothers me is because you see Tiki, if you played through a series of games, not everyone plays Shadow Dragons. In fact, most people avoid Shadow Dragon. But if you met Tiki and everything, you're like, oh, you know, you understand why she's dressed the way she is, and it's nice seeing her as a kid and whatnot. And okay, great. But when you see her again in Awakening, it's like this giant revelation that she's now an adult. At least she's not a kid anymore, not the child, like innocent young spirit that she is. She's an adult. That's why seeing her like grown up and out of her clothing and everything is like a big deal. But for whatever reason, that like never transpired into Fire Emblem Heroes because they threw her right back into her child's clothing, like child version's clothing. Like I thought they were gonna like push harder into the, hey, she's an adult now. But no.
Alas.
Yeah,
just looks
Tiki's
awkward.
character.
Oh, and the trailer just came out.
Okay.
Personally, I like it, but I also very much understand why people don't. First of all,
It
it's
Adult
was-
Tiki
yeah,
really
like-
becomes Pseudo Naga in one of the DLC
Yeah,
storylines.
like
Right,
Casey
they had
said,
options.
they had that option. Yeah, she becomes the new
Jar
vessel
is
because
out.
Naga's dead.
Thanks,
and
Ruby Sakurai.
that would have been a perfect chance to
yeah, that would have been a
give her
perfect
something
alternative.
fancy, and even it would even change up her character because she would be from an alternate timeline and be
Yes.
sort of
Yes.
a different
Yes.
sort of person.
What the actual heck? We were doing that in the past. You guys remember Veronica? She's like, actually, I'm not the Veronica who's trying to kill you. I'm the cool Veronica who wants to save everybody. I'm like, oh, wow, this is a weird concept. I like this. And they're like,
That would have
well,
been
let's
nice
not do
here.
it again. Ugh.
Fortunately, this Tiki design is also official, so we are here.
It is official. That's true. I mean, I put it
Yes.
at my thumbnail. Or for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I do prefer how she looks compared to like base young Tiki's art, though. Like I do think
Base
she,
young Tiki art is blue.
yeah.
okay,
I mean, she's
just so
still
you know, base young
looks
Tiki looks
nice.
like a urchin, like a street urchin. That's what she looks
Yes.
like. Now, adult Tiki, brave Tiki. I don't know what to word this anymore. Rediscover your childhood.
It's so weird though, because it's like her body looks very somewhat different than her younger self. She's
It's
still
like-
like thin, but
Well, yeah.
She's definitely like several feet taller than her younger self. So like
yeah.
she definitely like got her like this isn't her actual old clothing because she wouldn't fit.
No. No.
So like she actually
Yeah,
had this
she,
tailor made. So it's
It's so weird. Her sprite reminds me of her, like just a tall version of her young self.
yeah.
And her
Yeah,
dragon
that's-
sprite, her
that's
eyes
true.
look different, and I guess her ears, you could say, look different.
She's
too.
also shinier.
yeah, she's
She
shiny.
look-
And
yeah.
They
She's
tend to
barfing
make the
rainbows.
dragon forms of
Also,
any like dragon
bread.
alts.
The
shiny,
bread
Dragon-
animation is also
Adult
Legendary-
Tiki have scales on her elbows before?
I'm not sure.
Not
Are those
sure.
Scales? I don't remember scales on her elbow.
Yeah, I don't remember if she did or not. I think those are new.
I don't know.
Oh, it's funny.
Okay.
She is Naga, Legendary Marth, and then there's Legendary Chrom chilling there.
Yep.
Anyways, remote breath. Wait, seriously? Remote.
You control it with a remote. For her
you can
neutral
interpret-
special, Tiki uses a remote.
No matter how you interpret it, that's horribly worded in English. Remote breath, like what you just said, a remote controlling a breath. Sounds
English
horrible.
moment.
But the other English moment is breath, but it's remote, so it's not coming from your mouth. It's coming from.
It's like a distant
Wow.
sort of breath. I don't know.
Jeez. Okay. Anyways, I swear to you guys, I actually do love Tiki. Anyways, slaying ability. Effectiveness dragon foes. Cool. Makes some sense. If units within 3 spaces of an ally, all stats +5. Everybody gets all stats +5 nowadays. Sure. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. Yes, all doubles on a hero of no speed. Makes sense. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, and also if unit's attack can trigger their special grants special equivalent count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat. Wait, what?
Young
Did you
Ike.
guys
like
use a
Young
typical
Ike.
Glimmer?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, it's Young Ike's cooldown, except it's a flat 1, not adaptive on your special, though she has slang to compensate.
Oh man.
So if you run Time's Pulse, that means that you would instantly have Bonfire before her
Or
first attack.
Iceberg, more likely.
Or Iceberg, yeah. And vice versa with Glimmer at default.
That's actually pretty badass. Anyways.
Yeah.
And if foes attack can trigger their special and units res over foes res +5 and the special cooldown count -1 on foe before foe's first attack before combat.
So on the other
during
hand, this
combat.
is different. It's post smoke in combat.
Which is very,
That's actually
very
insane.
That is really good. Yeah.
So if you have pre-charged lethality, it's gone.
So you'd have to be running like a Bride Catria setup for that lethality to actually go off.
Yeah, or you need to accept you have to follow up and still somehow trigger that special.
Which I guess that's a job for Volca.
The only thing, of course, if their special's already at their max, it's not going to do anything. But for any other circumstance, that special is much worse off, especially for instant specials.
Oh shit! I just realized. Why does she have to be green? Well, to be clear,
to color balance.
Because Tiki has always been red.
Gotta be
a
weak
lot
to
of
Vulture.
Tikis have been red.
Okay,
and
who's
she's
the
extra
second
weak to
best
Vulture.
green dragon? Chat, real quick. Off the top of your head.
Second.
I already have somebody in my head. Go ahead.
Are you thinking of Nagi?
Well,
I want to say
Nagi,
I
Nagi,
wouldn't
but
I would say Nagi.
I wouldn't say second best right now, but that's.
I've been having a mirror on the mind, so I'm stuck.
Yeah, I can only think of a mirror. I don't know why.
Adrift female Korin?
She's fine.
Don't read anything Sigma Sensei says.
Which Rhea?
She is fine.
It's between.
No, I wouldn't say which Rhea.
Which Rhea would be
You
number
wouldn't say
one?
which Rhea? Wow.
I don't think she'd be.
Fine.
Which
She's
Rhea
just
is-
big green Saros.
Which Rhea is definitely up there, especially with Dragon DC, but it's between Ymir, Rhea, Adrift Korn, Nagi, and Sothis. Between
Okay,
those
so
five.
I gave it to you, Mir, just so you know.
I would
Yeah.
say Winter Sothis is waiting on a refine at this point.
Yeah, Sothis is definitely waiting on Refine, and so is Nagi. So
Okay.
probably Korn or Ymir.
That's kind of corny because she kind of just came out of nowhere and just took over the top spot.
Yeah,
know, right?
Ymir
She's
was
instantly
barely
the
on
best
top of
one.
it. Ymir,
Ymir
she
has a
can't-
weird place.
I mean, she can't even stay alive canonically, so getting killed
Yeah,
on
irony.
the top spot.
It's very
That's cool.
for her.
All right, well, sure. Tiki has a green dragon. Honestly, it doesn't even matter. I don't even think. To be honest, I don't think the breaths have mattered to IS. You know what I mean? Like, there's no color coding of breaths to me. It just seems like they just do whatever they want.
Very rarely. Like, for example, Medius is one of the strongest dragons, so he's colorless. Same with Duma. Like, strong dragons tend to be colorless, but that's the only thing that usually
Like final boss dragons, I guess you could say.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's pretty subjective.
I do want to be clear. I don't like her being green
Yeah?
because you're extra dead against falchions.
At least falchions aren't too common except for like the
Yeah.
Mark.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny because you're dead against Falchion, but also it doesn't matter too much in this meta anymore. Except for
unless
Grey Ball.
if you're trying to run, I guess like an arena, if you're trying to run her and you run into like an Ardal infantry for.
Against Brave Helm, it shouldn't really matter that much because like he's relatively frail and also she'll be able to just like neutralize any special he has. Like, it shouldn't be that bad.
She could
She'll cause him problems, but it will not be something she goes through without a scratch.
she'll hit like for a ton of damage, so she'll be hit.
Generally
rather.
speaking, I still remember back in the day, my argument was why I took Noe over Feh was because she was blue and she can actually take falchion hits. That's why I liked her a lot back in the day.
I get that. I get that sentiment. Green tanks, I personally feel, are in a better spot just because, like, Brave Erica, for example, or at least in a good spot, Chrom. But I do understand the sentiment. Falchion is still going to be a huge problem. But on the other hand, Naga isn't.
Okay, well, let's go over attack res finish 4. This is new stuff. If units within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack res plus 17 unit during combat, and also
She
unit special
suffers
is ready.
against Chrom's falchion, but she is clearly meant to blunt Chrom's bow. That is ironic. Lol.
Wait.
Yeah, Sangrither does nothing.
Yeah, that's true. No armor. She's not an armor unit, so. Team.
Alright, grants attack res plus 17 unit during combat, and also if unit special is ready, or unit special is triggered before or during this combat, deals plus 5 damage during combat. Wait, what the? This is so weird.
Yeah,
Except when
I'm
dealing
still
damage
trying to
of
figure that
AoE,
out.
and when unit deals damage to foe during combat, restores 7 HP to the unit. Wait, what
This is pretty
the heck
nasty.
is this? It's like
This is a weird skill.
Solid skill.
yeah, it is really weird.
It's strange, but it seems to work pretty well.
It's basically
It
like
works
giving
well.
you. It's like getting attack plus 12 and then healing on hit with some stats. Well, with like
with
some res on top.
Yeah.
I can't wait for attack speed finish to come out.
Also, the condition's ridiculous because
the good news is 3 spaces for 7 to both stats is really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
compare
that to like a
like
catch where you need a condition really.
They basically took that Unity idea and just threw away a bunch of stuff. Like no longer.
You're not getting broken
wow.
stats. Like your stats aren't going to be super broken, but
it is still
I prefer
sizably
those.
higher, and you still get you get a healing on top of that. And then if you got that damage from special, even better.
Yeah. So the way I'm looking at this, if you're going for like a damaging unit, don't bother with this because that 5 true damage is just not worth. I mean, you could just run catch or ideal, potentially get more stats for not having to be within 3 spaces.
Yeah, but
and also it's special reliant.
It's special reliant, sure, but the stats are gonna pretty much always be there with that very easy condition.
Yeah.
And
no, this has promise though. The
especially compared to
what really wins it over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're running just a full-on offense like Yuri, for example, and we get an attack speed version.
God.
No, I wouldn't process. Yeah.
Put on Fallen Edelgard.
Fallen Edelgard would be obnoxious as hell with this.
Able to run. It might be. It might not be accessible to armors, but it would be.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the inheritance.
We'll have to see, but
it looks like Brazen.
She'll get extra healing, and then once you touch her, bonfire triggers. So it's like
people are going to run plus 10 Fallen Edelgards with now 5 extra flowers and defense res finish for.
It looks like Brazen or Defiant, and if it's either of those paths that leads into this, then it would be universal.
That does look Brazen. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Evan initially mistook it.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought it was Brazen 4, and I was like, what the hell are they doing? But this is.
Ophelia would really like that skill.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that one applies because my thought, going back to Seliph for a brief second, that one you can argue Unity might be better in some cases, and you might argue Catch is better in some cases for the stat consistency.
Yeah.
This is definitely a skill that's harder to replicate because you get that massive on-hit healing and some true damage to go on top. That's a lot harder to match than stats.
Oh yeah, we've gone to the place where
healing.
No, chat, seriously, we're at the point where A slots are now 3 XFX.
Yep. It's stats, that's potentially more stats, and then something.
Yeah, that's. Oh geez. Well.
Yeah, A slots are the A slot creep. No matter how universal it is still creep.
You know what? That makes more sense why they put the CCL out here now, because it's just one thing. So it's not the craziest thing anymore.
Yeah, even if it throws scoring out the window, it is not nearly what these A slots are becoming.
Oh crud! I didn't ask. What's Tiki's BST?
188.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, 190 BST infantry. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
She could score like 190.
91. She'll score like 195 relative to the competition, but with her kit already being 300 SP everything, she would score like 200.
Mm-hmm.
Oh right, she has a perf B slot. Oh my god. She's your scorer, chat, of this banner. She's a scorer.
Yeah, if you want to score with any of these units, Tiki literally scores 200 BST while still being able to run distant counter.
But I can't do this. If I do this, I'll be asking her, why are you still in your child virgin's clothing? Every single time I'll go crazy.
Also, it's green, so the color chances are a little easier.
Don't you tempt me. I'm gonna wait for Brave Air Guards for fine. There you go.
Huh.
So,
but seriously, chat, the fact of the matter is she can reach 200 BST scoring. That's not even fair.
And doesn't take inheritance to do it. She already has everything.
Yep.
The only rough part
is
no
that dragon boost, but then again, she's not a trainee.
That came as a shock.
Because she's adult, she already trained.
Right, and brave units.
Yeah, just because she put on her kid self's
training.
clothing doesn't mean she gets trainee BST. Fact check herself.
Ah. This post has been verified by independent fact checkers.
Alright, well, new divinity. At start of combat, units HP is over 25%. Inflicts attack res -5 on foe during combat, and also if units res over foes res, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoEs by 4 times 4. You guys know it's Dragon Ball. At start of combat, if units HP is over 40%, unit cannot make a follow-up attack. If greater or equal to 40%, foe cannot make a follow attack during combat.
This is interesting. It's Dragon Wall with wary attack res -5 on top.
That's so funny to me. Dragon Wall already got power crept by Greater Dragon Wall.
It got power crept twice by True Dragon Wall and Assured Rebirth.
Yeah, whatever Nimious has.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's go back at it again. To all the people who have Dragon Wall.
Except this time it is only 40%. The exchange being you get actual stats and wary off of it.
I like this better, honestly.
The wary effect being at 40% does feel kind of funny, though. They rarely... One of the few times I can think of when they did... Yeah, one of the few times I can think of where they do like a specific number like that is with... For some reason with Jagen's Refine, they gave him 70% HP, not 75%.
Yeah.
So
it's such a weird
very rare
threshold.
I did like with Sumia and like I think 80% or something.
Yeah, 80%
yeah,
wings
Sumia's
of mercy.
80%. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why it went that way, but yeah, no. So whereas Medius gets auto follow up and potentially 60%, Rhea gets 60% once, 40% the rest of the combats, and healing. She gets consistent stats and wary.
There's some pencil pusher at IS Head Studios. They're just like, we're not doing 25%. That's not balanced enough. How about 30? No, we've never done 30. 35. That's weird. 40. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, sure. I'm feeling a little weird today.
I would have trusted it more if it were 50% or something, but 40%, I mean, hey, it works.
Kind of just came out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, it's a weird condition, but you know what? This is a really good B slot. In tandem with weapon.
Good matter, so. Yeah.
It does, honestly. But no, this is a really nice B slot. Again, I love the consistency with the stats. You don't have to rely on the damage reduction entirely. That's really nice. And it makes the condition for a weapon easier to meet. This is... She's definitely the most... Cool oh, absolutely. She's definitely the most... What?
You know what she feels like?
What's that?
She feels like the Brave Marth this banner.
Yeah. She's doing basically everything as an infantry. It may not seem like the most meta present right away, but she will definitely be a consistent unit to use.
I think the reason why she'll be adopted better than Brave Marth because she has a perf beast slot. And that's what I really think.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, that. And it's slightly less contested because Brave Marth is a godsword among godswords, whereas Tiki, dragon infantries are very uncommon.
Yeah. I'm
glad.
Yeah, no. She looks weird. She's great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Not disappointed.
Her outfit is funny, but I like the actual art itself, even if her outfit is...
Yeah, the Pineko art definitely did a great job with what was given.
Okay. Also, I really want to quickly mention, people are bringing this up. Why are there no armors? If they made Tiki an armor...
Oh, God, that would be...
Yeah, cheaters.
195 boring, right?
And then people would be like, well, there's dual Chrom. Well, what if there's no dual Chrom deployed?
There were no armors last year, were there? Erica, Gatekeeper.
No, there weren't. There haven't been any armors since...
It was just Edelgard in recent times.
Because they realized as soon as they did Savior skills, like, oh crap, we better put an end to this. Because Hector and Edelgard were like, hey, we run this place.
We've only had 3 armored CYL units anyway, right?
Yeah, literally, and 2 of them are the most meta-defining, among the most meta-defining armors ever.
And it's not like Ephraim's bad, but nobody bothers them.
Nobody plays him.
Right after his refine, yeah.
He still is good.
I still use him in in-game content, so...
He's the only one my defense lost to this week.
Okay, that's cute. Now, let's talk about Chrom real quick. Listen.
Oh, good.
First of all, I like the art, though.
I think it's good. There's one, his attack pose is a little weird.
Yeah, this is, of course, the Awakening Artist.
Yes, it is the Awakening Artist.
And this is his Great Lord. This is his actual Great Lord outfit.
Yeah, it's his Great Lord outfit, but for some reason he's on a calf when he should be.
Yeah, I don't know why he is a horse, but...
I predicted that he'd be Lance Infantry Great Lord, but they put him on a calf.
I was hoping they really didn't do this, because it would have felt like they just rehashed it. Honestly, this entire band just feels like rehashing.
I honestly do like it though. At least makes
this is what I was hoping. I was actually hoping for this. I was hoping they'd actually use this design, and I was hoping they'd use the fact that he can wield lances, and they did.
I was hoping for a lance. I will admit, yes.
Okay, well, we talked about the Brave Martha banner. How about the Brave Erica of the banner?
Also, the Binding Shield is back. This is a problem. This is a big problem.
Oh yeah, I've got a list all set up for what this. What assist does. I mean.
Why do you have to do this to the meta?
Yeah. I hate... Like, you guys thought I was joking when I started this. I really wanted him to have Silver Sword ++ and Defiant Defense 4. I really wanted him to have all that stuff. I didn't want another dominating Chrom.
We have to... This is why when I saw Chrom win, I already knew our fate was sealed. When this came around, the meta was going to suffer.
Yeah, do you guys realize this? The best scoring units in this game are Chroms. Why?
I mean, at least this one's a Cav, so he's got the BST cut.
Yeah, he's
but
just
he does
slightly.
He probably has
score
a 500 SP assist just because legendary Chrom.
Yeah,
I
he's
guess
gonna
he
have
scores 185. Yeah,
he'll score 185, 190 with a B slot, so he'll score like a modern infantry. Yeah.
Why? Why is he gonna do that? Why?
Because Chrom privileges. They gave us mercy.
2020.
In a way, they gave us mercy by making him a Cav.
Okay, well, real quick, he looks incredibly similar to Seliph stat-wise, by the way.
Yes, he's very, very similar.
Well, besides, are any Chroms actually fast?
I see a lot of speed-based Chroms.
They get.
I mean, they always try.
There's no truly fast.
Every Chrom tries to be fast, but this one actually is fast out the gate.
Well,
this is much more accurate to Awakening.
No. It's not every Chrom tries to be fast. It's every Chrom user tries to make him fast.
The worst part is that it works.
Yeah,
the
worst part is it
like
works.
Winter Chrom.
Ugh.
It's I always was
that
confused by
was the first.
Chrom's things in Feh, why he was always slow. Because in Awakening, he has a lot of attack and speed, and his defense is like okay, but they always lean into his HP and defense.
Yeah, they kind of confused. They kind of got confused on his identity. So I guess now that he has the BST, he can get that expression.
Yeah, he can
finally.
actually have a lot of attack and speed now.
All right, well, my guy has 41 HP, 58 attack, 42 speed, 37 defense, and 17 res. Even less res than Seliph. Yes, sub 20 res in 2022. You know what you're doing, IS. Min-maxing the wazoo out of this.
The worst part is it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
all right,
no.
how do we say this weapon?
Airdriffle.
Airdriffle?
Yeah.
Airdriffle, all right. Slaying ability, effective against dragon, armored foes, effective against armored foes. Wait, there's no effect against dragon. Fine. All right, if you initiate combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed, defense, res plus X to unit during combat. X is the number of bonus and penalty effects that activate on unit times 2 plus 5. What?
Now,
so instead of getting
here's
plus
the
5 all
worst part.
stats, he just gets plus 5, and then you add
not
on.
capped.
No cap, yeah.
It's not capped. Every bonus status or penalty status, not like your stat debuffs and buffs, any of those statuses will add 2 to your stats infinitely. So, take, for example, if you get buffed by Asker's Resonance Blades and Shields. Just those. That gives you an extra 4 to get plus 9 to all stats, just by using Asker's buffs. You can go as far as you want from there.
Yeah, and you could use Grand Strategy on him to give him 4 debuffs and give him a buff as well.
Yep. You could literally, like, it's pretty feasible at this point with a buff stacking comp, just out of the hypothetical situation without looking any further. You could get like 6, 7 buffs. So let's say you get 7. That would put him at 19 in each stat. For 7 different buff statuses. Or penalty statuses. You could just take those if you want. You could soak some penalties.
So, it's like the little like memes and little fun bits we saw like Brave Marth, but on steroids.
Yeah, instead of Brave Marth being a penalty doubler and bonus doubler, Chrom is taking the status effects.
Marth.
Yeah, Legendary Marth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taking the status effects, which are...
Right.
Yeah. Which are harder to stop, because you can't lull them, you can't not penalize them, and he just uses them. He uses them to his advantage, and goes crazy with them.
That's actually absurd, because you buff him, and he becomes amazing. You debuff him, and he becomes amazing.
Yeah, he gets more stats. He doesn't get Unity, but he can get extra all stats from being debuffed in a stat. So
each time is +2 in every.
Wait, I thought he doesn't get that from stat penalties. It's only from like.
Yeah, if you get hit by panic, though, for example.
That would.
Oh, I see. So it's not as.
No, it's not the actual stat buffs and buffs.
Okay, but if you get hit by anything that would lower your stats, like a chill or a.
No, because that's just a stat.
It's just a stat, yeah.
But if you get hit by, for example, Stall Ploy, or Reeve
So
Stall.
basically, it's
then
literally a
that's-
form of grander
Or
strategy.
if you got
than
hit by a
actual weapon.
ruse, it would count because you have
Ruse has guard.
Because it has
Yeah.
guard, yeah.
So yes, any of those kinds of like penalties that actually do something will stack. For
That's
example,
the
4.
balance, so that way you can't just use a ton of sabotages or try and take a bunch of kills.
soak a bunch of those or take a bunch
I
of
see.
buffs. That's why, for example, Thor has both stall and exposure. So that's just +4 to Chrom right there on all stats.
Keep in mind the penalty effect thing isn't as helpful because obviously after you use a fate changed, you lose all your penalties and then you just get isolation. So,
but it just means that if you start your combat with
Yeah.
all those penalties up, or if you're enemy phasing, you could just go crazy.
Mhm.
You actually benefit from a fate change because it gives you the isolation.
We'll get
penalty.
there. But the
Alright.
rest of the weapon's still there.
Right, so we're not done yet. Exclusive status bonus and stat penalties reduces damage from foes' first attack during combat by 40% as if you needed that. And also bonuses active on unit, grants special cooldown charge +1 per attack during combat.
If he needed that, he has breath.
Yeah. Why?
Slaying Breath Lance with 40% first hit damage reduction and stats. And more stats!
Why is this a thing?
Why is this a thing? What were they thinking about this?
Infantry speed tactic. At start of turn, grant speed +6 to allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn, and null up to infantry allies within 2 spaces. Grant only if number of that allies movement type on current team is less or equal to 2.
It's just speed tactic with infantry null follow-up.
Yes.
The tact effect,
But it does have tactic lock.
Is the tactic effect like the tactic buff locked to infantry as well? Because it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like.
No, because Frederick
No.
gets buffer
Oh.
speed.
Yeah, you can
it doesn't
buff
seem
anyone.
like
It's
it.
just the null follow-up effect.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
it's literally infantry null follow up on speed tactic with the hypothetical that you still have to meet tactic conditions. Also important to note that it does not have to be on infantry. Like
Right.
infantry null follow up.
Right, they can use it. That's why being Cav. Alright, a faint change. Moves target ally to opposite side of unit. Grants another action to unit. Grants any bonus active on target ally to unit. And pair up cohort, if any, for 1 turn. And inflicts isolation on unit. And pair up cohort, if any. So this action... Sure,
This
you
is
get the
bad.
point of it.
This is extremely
bad.
scary.
So why
This
is
is
he going to
bad.
drop isolation on himself?
Well,
I
that's
get
what
the point of
the
it,
but,
change
like-
fate does, and it also
Yeah, I
buffs
get
the
it.
change fate.
But in this case, doesn't it benefit him?
Yeah, but it also does mean he can't get 2 ally stat buffs without like an Emir neutralizing his penalties.
Right.
But this is a bad problem. You know why?
I smell a legendary remix.
All in Star.
Oh, also that.
Oh my
You can,
god.
That is a buff status exclusive to Claude that
steal
Chrom
Fallen
can
Star.
steal.
Some of the
You
buffs
could-
that you can, I have some examples of buffs you can get. You can steal. Wait, does this take stat buffs as well, or is this?
Yeah. Isn't it
does take your
bonuses?
visible buffs. It
I
takes
would
your visible buffs.
Mhm.
Yeah, so visible buffs, movement buffs. It would count effective against dragons, like from Naga.
Yeah.
Bonus doubler, dominance, resonance effects, the
Sadly,
desperation
it would
from
not
some blue
take
units,
triangle adept penalties because it's a penalty.
fallen star, anti follow up.
Pretty sure it, as stupid as
guaranteed
this
follow-up,
sounds,
triangle attack.
yeah,
Null
as
panic,
stupid as this
cancel
sounds,
affinity. Hold on, just a minute.
Okay.
Null follow up, pathfinder, neutralize foe bonuses, grand strategy, on
dodge.
guard. Accelerate like a
Breath
the
effect
accelerate.
from fallen
Yeah, the breath
minion.
effect.
Basically,
Minion
anything that can be
treachery,
granted from
warp
your
bubble,
allies
and
or
charge.
to
That's
grant from
that's
allies
basically it.
themselves.
Also, for some reason, I'm pretty sure you can take a Dun's neutralize effective against armors and dragons,
Yes,
which
you can. I
yeah.
didn't mention that because
is
it doesn't
absolutely
apply to them,
pointless, but you can do it.
you can.
So basically, you could literally take anybody's sometimes exclusive buffs like Vantage, Claw's Fallen Star, things like that, Winter Altina. You could just take those, and Chrom can just use them. And the worst part is he could just reposition to do it, so he can use it first combat of his own phase, meaning, for example, Claude, that Fallen Star will work in the player phase and enemy phase.
The
And,
most
of course,
useful
he
ones
gets-
to take would be like Vantage and Vantage and a follow up, and then like I think Warp Bubble. Those would be like 3 very good
Warp
ones
Bubble.
to take.
Yeah, you can take Mir's Warp Bubble.
And something that could be pretty important is that he can take orders buffs, and that accounts for pretty much all. Well, it wouldn't. I'm not sure.
That wouldn't help too much.
If you're using a Smoke 4 unit, like Speed Smoke 4 or anything, they attack, get their buffs, and then Chrom just repositions them, gets the buffs himself, and then he can just keep going and do that. So, as if that weren't enough already. So basically, you have him getting a whole bunch of buffs from somebody, then a unit getting exclusive buffs as well as others. Chrom just takes all of those, not only has those buffs that he shouldn't even have, but then also gets stats for every single one, plus his isolation effect. So realistically, you're probably getting an extra like 10, 12, 14 in every stat, with all the buffs he's taking. From
like
in hindsight, it makes why
what the hell were they thinking?
Okay, the funny thing is, what is he lacking, guys? Chrom does not have a perf canto, and
he actually doesn't have a special.
He does not have null follow. Yeah.
He does not have guard
or damage reduction.
Well,
he
does
have
damage
reduction. Never mind.
But he has breath.
Yeah.
Okay,
damage reduction and breath.
So if he had a perf canto, he would literally personally ran Brave Erica into her own grave if he had a perf canto, which is good. He doesn't.
Erica is at least Erica is more nuclear in damage, but Chrom can just do everything he wants.
Wait a second. Is she actually more nuclear in damage? I feel like
when she triggers her special,
that special is nasty.
With a special, she'll
okay,
harder.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what Seliph's for, though. But Chrom can do other things, like actually live hits, and not only live hits, but take next to nothing.
I see. I just realized why he is the tactic in his kit, because you can.
Are you serious? You just realized it? Oh my god.
Yes. He repositions the no follow-up buffed unit, and he gets it.
Well, no,
that's what they're trying to show here.
Yeah, I know what they were trying to show. It just took me a minute. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, since Claude's always a flyer, you can't do that. But
is this the first unit with like a special accelerating thing without a special in their base kit?
No, it's not the first.
Not the first.
It's not that often.
No, I wish I could remember another one, but it's actually usually Chrom, because Chrom. Wait, no, Legendary Chrom doesn't have special manipulation.
Yeah, no, he just has attack.
Yeah, and then that's why
Chrom does come with the special.
He doesn't have a P slot.
But
to summarize, rare.
He has the highest maximum in this banner by far.
Yes, he definitely, because there's so many exclusive buffs, you definitely need to build a team that actually uses exclusive buffs. And just saying, Asker is one of the best units by far because he gives 2. But if you can find the right team for Chrom, he is downright terrifying. And it's still Chrom, so he's always terrifying.
You can make him particularly terrifying if you... Yeah, well that. And you can also, if you use him with Brave Seliph or Legendary Sigurd, he can benefit from +1 movement, which is always helpful.
You could give Chrom +1 movement.
Or Armor March, if you like Armor March.
Oh, yeah, you could also just take Armor March.
Or Armored Stride, or whatever.
Yeah, you could take Assault Troop if you feel like
Assault Troop, yeah.
His biggest weakness is definitely just going to be, like, armored units with, like, a damage effect. I can't even speak. Damage reduction.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, the thing, Chrom is also, he's like a stats king and a buff king, but he doesn't have means of piercing damage reduction. His specials aren't going to be the most nuclear, and he is just a big all-rounder. But he is absolutely...
As well.
Yeah. He is strong against armors, though, so if you're not a near save Adun, then... it's really Adun, though.
He's also S-tier Gale Forcer, so don't forget that.
Yeah, let's not forget that he has breath.
Breath, yeah. Every single unit on this banner has slaying.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, so...
Yeah, it's like they figured it was good or something.
Yeah, that's the fate of the... So, absolutely terrifying potential, especially on the defensive side.
So, the reason why we brought all that up, and he's by far the most extensive, I can already see it in Ether raids where Chrom just beats entire teams by himself. It reminisces me back in the olden days where Fallen Ike doing that exact same shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally, you could just slap Chrom with this encounter and have him super tank. That's an actual thing that's possible.
Yes.
It's technically possible, yeah, because stat ball stuff can go really far.
I forget what Awakening Harmonics there are, but whatever ones there are, you give their unique buffs to him.
Harmonized Sonya would be good for him.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, because that would give him extra special cooldown. That would help him if he's running Gale Force in particular.
Yeah, but she doesn't give any unique buffs. Asker, of course, is obligatory, but...
You can steal the IOT shield buff from Harmonized Mirror.
Yes.
I guess
all that does is just +2 to all stats for him, basically. But...
Basically. But you could literally take any of those. You could take Naga's Guaranteed Follow-Up and Dragon Effectiveness onto Chrom, of course. Like, there are so many buffs you could give him.
You can take Bonus Doubler.
You could take Bonus Doubler.
Dominance or Treachery.
Or Grand Strategy from other Chrom.
Yes. Or actually, well, you couldn't take Treachery because that's...
Yeah, you'd already have it.
Yeah.
Stealing Vantage would be the one that really scares me.
Yeah, if Chrom is stealing Vantage and does it right, fortunately he can't run Spiral, and that's not a buff. That's all I'll say. They've definitely had some restraint by making him a cavalry.
Yes.
And technically, other legendary pair-up units can have these bonuses too, of course.
Okay, to be clear, this is not a Fallen Edelgard moment. He's not completely self-sufficient. You do have to give him a team, and you do have to do a couple things before he becomes God.
And he's still, and his damage is still just really solid. It's not nuclear because it's not like lethalities. It's not Moonlight Bangle or anything like that. But he still has a very solid start, but an absolutely obscene ceiling that will take manipulation.
Oh God!
But dear God, the fear factor is there.
Okay, and also yes, you guys are right. Casey's right. He cemented the greatest emblem team. Chrom Emblem is the best. It's not a competition. He is just the best.
Wait until Legendary Chrom. Just wait until Legendary Chrom gets a buff, is refine and remix. That's going to be a huge issue.
Yeah. But I think one of the scarier things about this that maybe overlooked is that it basically means every legendary unit now has the potential to just be a Chrom in terms of stealing all the bonuses.
Yeah, you could, if you pair them up with a legendary, then in any mode where that's applicable, you could just go absolutely
Well, I guess it's not applicable
wild.
in every mode, but in the modes where it is, it could be pretty devastating.
And soon every other unit can too, once Legendary Chrom gets remixed, most likely.
Oh no.
Legendary Chrom gets that I'm dead on the inside. But
you might just get to change fate too, but
yeah. Because he doesn't have another perf skill. But yeah, no, Chrom is definitely the most terrifying ceiling unit here by far. And it's Chrom, so of course it's gonna be terrifying. By default.
So let's sum it up already. Instead of talking about Chrom for another hour. Okay.
All right.
By far, if we relate it back to last year, I definitely see Chrom as last year's Erica in terms of like how devastating he could be, and in terms of
but not as brain dead. Not as brain dead.
Not as brain dead. He will take a bit of work.
The ceiling is so high.
In practice, like overall, the most brain dead one I feel like is Seliph.
Yeah, Seliph is probably
brain power.
I think Chrom is closer in impact, but I think Seliph is closer in terms of how he's used, because he's the one that does the most damage by far here, and he's got a very simple strategy. Just go in, charge, damage, retreat. Very simple game plan.
Tiki's fairly simple in what she's trying to do. You have to work with her a little bit, but...
Oh, yeah, but Tiki is 100%. Yeah, she's the scorer of this batch.
She's the scorer.
Tiki's good in player hands for sure. In AI, I'm not so sure how good she'll be though.
Not really. Tiki is the Marth of this batch, which is to say she's the all-rounder that has a lot of good potential, but not distinctly like broken anywhere. Just really, really good all-rounder score bot.
And seeing as Brave Byleth is sort of the colorless mage, I feel
Byleth
like
is probably the
Mariana.
Okay, just sum it up. There is no gatekeeper of this banner.
No, there's not.
No.
I still think Gatekeeper has some really cool potential that nobody tries.
I'm using him this week, actually.
He's not completely
for you
dead.
guys.
I still don't think that.
So do I.
I haven't seen him in forever now. And I even have
It's because people just don't use him.
I'm going to be pairing him with my bonus Asker this week.
But, yeah, no, this one definitely... I mean, there's going to be a lot of derision on Tiki's art, or that Tiki, for example, doesn't do anything super flashy or something like that. But this is a very...
I don't think you should disqualify a score at 200 VST.
No.
long-term usage of a hero should be important for you guys, considering how bad power creep is in this game. You should want your heroes to be serviceable for multiple years.
Yep.
In terms of,
And-
like, all modes.
Exactly. All modes, not just like Aether Raids or Summoner Duels. Arena is the preference. So,
Byleth.
Brave Edelgard, for example, Tiki, Marth.
Byleth should score 180, right?
Yeah, she'll score 180, which is fine, but you have to consider that not only do we have the new B slots and Dragon seal slots,
We're
but
gonna get infantry with
ASD buff.
190.
Wait, should she be 180 or 175? Because I know bows and daggers
Oh
score.
no, she's 175.
Yeah, should be 175, yeah.
But nevertheless, this Tiki is definitely a good long term, but this is one of the most solid all-rounder, like, choose your legends banners for sure. Like, nobody here is bad, not even close.
Yes. Which goes back to the rating. This is a 7.5 and it's no higher. And it's not because of the units. They're all amazing.
If I rated it based
the
on
art.
units, I'd rate it like a
You're
9.5.
rating it because of art, and I get that.
I'm holding up my
personally-
review based on what Byleth special
playing so
does.
safe.
I actually, I hate to say it, I actually want to give this one a straight up 10. And that's just because I actually
Wow.
like the art that much. And I really do appreciate, like, I really appreciate Byleth's art choice. I like, Chrom feels very nostalgic. I like Sigurd's design itself. I kind of wanted that.
They
And
played
for
it too
Tiki,
safe.
yeah, it's a very safe banner,
I
but
do
I
agree.
don't mind that.
I do kind of mind it. I feel like, especially for Tiki and Seliph, I feel like are the main ones that I mind. If
Tiki is the
only
only
one
one
I
I'm
for.
willing to agree on, even though we kind of all expected it.
Yeah, just because, like,
I
if you're
was
gonna,
not
just wait for
expecting-
young Tiki,
I didn't
basically, if you're
a lot
gonna
of
do
people
something like that.
expecting Tiki to be young Tiki.
A lot of
What?
people actually were, from what I saw.
Really?
Especially
Why?
because of Cypher.
What the
Oh,
heck?
I
Anybody
saw
who
more
knows
people
Tiki would
thinking.
think that's weird as heck.
I thought more people were thinking she'd be like either a mage or just like a Naga based dragon.
Oh, everybody.
A Naga-based
I-
dragon.
who wouldn't have thought Tiki was a dragon? What?
So some people were
I'm a
saying
adult
that she wouldn't
Tiki.
be because like
I mean,
her
I
class
was
change
memeing she was
options
a
and
healer.
stuff.
I was memeing she should be a healer. So
She has the
Someone's
mage,
gotta be
serious, but
followers.
people
class
might have
option.
believed me.
Healer self.
Some people were saying Emmer and healer Chrom. I thought that was kind of silly.
Yeah, that was kind of
The
a funny
damaging
one.
A
special.
staff with that kind of effect would have been amazing.
Yeah, if Chrom were a healer, that would. I don't even want to think about what that would have been.
All
would
right.
look pretty funny.
Needless
So-
to say, if I were to free, I'm gonna pick everybody up from here most likely. But if I were to free pick one, I'll personally just say Probably Chrom.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah,
That
I'm
would
not
be
sure
my
for
advice.
fodder yet, but as a unit, I'm definitely between Seliph or Chrom.
I'm definitely gonna free pull Chrom if I when I get
Yeah,
my free pull.
I do think if you want as much usage out of a hero, it's definitely between Chrom and Seliph. Kanto,
Yeah.
2, guaranteed. And Seliph is, the fact he gets Miracle and everything, that's like a really interesting thing to have with you at all times.
a miracle
takes a bit
4
more
move
work.
nuke.
Yeah, and 4-move nuke. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's between those two if you really want to like high value from just one copy. But I don't think you should underestimate any of the heroes here. That's something for sure. But yeah, when it comes to will you pull?
100%.
No.
Yes, I will.
And that's just because I always will pull for every single Choose Your Legends unit. That's my thing.
I tend to do that. Not always every single one, but I try to get as many as I can. So
I have 5 for 5, so if I can keep that up, I'd like to do that.
I won't
I'd
be
cut all
unhappy
the
though if I get everybody,
GYL
if I get
ones.
anybody on this banner.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already...
Huh?
That's my logic with this.
Okay. It cut out, but I'm pretty sure it was my internet.
it looks like it's loading.
Yeah, that's weird. OBS has been weird lately, so. Please don't disconnect me.
Oh no.
I'm not even disconnected, which is what really bothers me.
Oh,
It's back.
Oh wait, never mind. It's on 300 on YouTube now. Okay, it's...
I think. Well, put me on ad break, so. Oh, we're back.
I didn't disconnect. It's just OBS being weird.
Okay. OBS moment.
Yeah. Why you guys? It's not my internet. These guys can attest. I was talking to them. I didn't disconnect in the call.
No, you were I mean, it was because of lag. No, you were fine.
I think I could still hear him perfectly, on my end at least. But...
Yeah, it's not me. It's OBS. It's
the
servers, the restream servers. I don't even know where they are anymore. All right. So yeah, to sum it up, am I gonna pull on this personally? You guys already heard it from them. Evan said no. Legion, it's the other guy.
Yes.
They said yes.
The other guy. That's right.
Yeah, the other guy. For me, I don't think I can, because...
Yeah?
Because, like last year, unless I'm plus 10ing one of them, what's the point? Actually, I did plus 10 Brave Mars, so what am I talking
did plus 10 Brave. Yeah, what are you talking about? You did plus 10 one of them. And if you're looking at scoring options...
plus 10 two of them.
Yeah,
And
I mean, you're right. Tiki is an amazing scoring option. That's 2 more bins than Marth in his current state.
That's so awkward. How can you? It's just been 1 year. How could you be 2 bins higher?
I mean, it's only It's actually 3 if I'm not mistaken, because BST, Dragon C slot, and then Perf B slot. If Marth gets his B slot chill, for example, then he goes up 1, but 3 technically. Yikes.
All right, well, the reason why I'm not going to go for it is because I'd rather save up for, like, a devastatingly good hero that I can't mess up in any way. Because I feel like if you want to hit Chrom's maximum, you're going to need merges.
Chrom is a massive...
Bad without it.
You need, at the very least, you need a great team for him.
Yes.
Fortunately, Summer Claude's a great start, but you need a great team for him.
Yes.
I'm glad I actually got a copy of Summer Claude. I almost want that Summer Banner without getting any of him.
I'm glad I have a plus 10 of that guy. That said, Chrom is definitely a high maintenance unit, but massive ceiling. Seliph, I think, is pretty easy to use, though.
Yes,
Very
I think the
simple.
lowest... I think Seliph, if you wanted a hero to auto-battle with, to carry your day in Arena Assault, whatever the heck...
Nah, if you're auto-battling, it'd be Tiki, because she's so easy to heal.
Oh,
she'll just stay in. She'll stay in the fight for the rest of the map.
But for Seliph, you can also...
He does have Miracle, but he doesn't sustain, so if you're in an assault-based mode like Tempest Trials, it's not going to matter for long.
No,
Seliph could be useful for people. I know that, at least for me, I've struggled sometimes on a Genealogy and Thracia limited battles. And I know it's a stupid argument to say, like, summon for this unit for limited battles, but just in the event that matters to someone, then it could be handy.
Yes. But Seliph is definitely... You can use him in basically any game mode at this point and be fine. It won't be an auto battler, but Seliph is the easiest to use. He's definitely the most like Brave Erica in that regard.
And Tiki does synergize very well with Medius, for that matter.
Yeah, Tiki definitely has nice... There's so much dragon stuff going on these days. Tiki is right,
but especially Medius, because he gets extra damage reduction and he grants her visible attack and res. So
we get tickets, right? So I think everyone should just go for their first Spark at least. That's a high value banner.
Yes. It is a fantastic value banner at the very least. And while some of the fodder is a little weird, Seliph, this is still a very solid fodder banner.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, Vic was here and he says he feels like the sky dropped on him and everything. Yeah, because this is barely feeling Byleth. So there you go.
Well, no, he said that Byleth is like so bad.
Yeah, Sothis actually won. Surprise, guys.
Wow.
And then Sothis gets a remix next month. It's all going to plan.
All right, but yeah, to sum it up, maybe I'll Spark first, but I'm not gonna go highly into this unless something really happens, like we get. I
personally, if you're gonna go in all in I would wait until Hero Fest raid if you plan on Tiki. But if you want to go in on a single Spark here, that's fine.
No, yeah, if you're single sparking with tickets, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do that. So hopefully I can get one. Also, so hyped up for this.
Okay, so we're not done yet. There's still one big guy to talk about. I cannot believe. If we go back in time, last year was Pelleas, but the year before that was
George.
not.
George.
For me, that was not memorable because he got used for like 8 months or so, and then everyone gave up on him.
Well,
That
except
was
for a
the
couple
most
super
memorable.
Except for a couple
Yeah.
people.
Except
But he
Yeah,
still
that's
had a
a good
cool niche though. Slaying bow with support, not bad.
It was nice for a little bit.
Okay, so it was okay. I agree with that. So he did stand apart at least for a little bit. Jeralt, however, I expect to stand apart. Period.
First of all,
like,
amazing art.
Yeah,
Just finally not a Pelleas
you were saying the
dude.
stat spread reminds you of Dusel. It's funny because his art is also Dusel.
oh shit, dang.
Yeah.
Dusel,
Nishkira.
Saros, Resplendent Alm, which
Great
is the
track.
one that they don't
Yeah, the
like.
one,
Yeah.
but great track record.
Yeah.
His boobs are huge. Put a M in front of the first B. Biatch. All right, well that's with that said, he has a perf, which is what really stands him apart. And
The one
unlike
thing I'm
George, which I
worried
thought
about-
the perf was kind of boring. Yes, go ahead. I was going to talk about it, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
The only thing we're worried about is because his literal title is the Swordbreaker. So we're thinking perhaps the Breaker Lance literally only doubles on swords.
Yeah, if
hopefully
that's
the
what
Blade
I'm
Breaker
worried about
does
that.
not end up Swordbreaker.
I'm hoping, if anything, it's easier to double swords than it is to double everybody else.
That
That's-
would be nice. I just,
Okay, the Blade
now
Breaker,
I'm
yeah.
worried. They could have saved us just by just attacking into the Green Thief.
But he-
Yeah,
they did.
well, that's
Their story
intentionally
was-
why they did it. They
That's
want us
that's
to
true.
speculate.
Ha,
It
ha,
better
and also,
not be
haha,
literally
Blade
Blade Breaker. Because it's not Swordbreaker because you can see the red
Yeah,
sword
it's
here
not
can
a
still
full
double.
breaker. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
they still follow up. So,
Maybe follow up against anybody with a
But he is
physical
inflicting
weapon.
attack
or
defense
maybe it's a
minus
follow up
6.
against anybody that can counterattack.
It could be. That's like a Gustav way of doing it. But the good, I wanted to just
Okay,
reiterate. The good news is
yeah.
attack defense minus 6, so he gets effectively res as well from his weapon.
Yeah, most like Orson, just attack death plus 6. Come
Poor
on.
Orson. Yeah, he's dead in a ditch. This
Wait,
guy makes
what?
Orson look terrible.
Jesus Christ. It's just all mid? Do you guys have an obsession with saying those 3 letters together, M-I-D? Come on. This is not mid. In fact, let's reverse this for you. That's D-I-M. Dim. Bitch. I'm sorry. I'm so tired. All
I mean,
Wait,
no.
wait, hold on a
Okay.
second. He's inflicting panic on those units
Wait, what?
Okay, what?
Hold on.
because
Yeah,
no one
wait.
else on that team is doing anything. Shamir and the Byleth don't have any panic effect.
Okay, well,
What
here's
the
what I'm
heck
trying to
is
get
going
to.
on?
Okay, he's very interesting. There's a layer to this
And
that we don't
it's
understand
not
yet.
sudden panic because he's inflicting it on non-adjacent enemies.
But okay, listen. The point is, if he can actually all double, period, and there's nothing else, he would have been amazing anyways. Because he's a modern BSD cav unit. He's hyper min max, 41 HP, 62 attack, 26 speed, 39 defense, with 30 res. How do you
Yeah.
not commit to a hero like this? This
Dude,
is
his
just very
attack
useful.
is stupid.
He's 43 attack, assuming he has a +3 attack weapon.
Yeah, his attack plus 3. He is stupid high attack, amazing defense, and really good res with attack def minus 6. That's 36 res and 45 defense with 68 attack.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, he actually is just, for all we know right now, a demoted Dusel.
Yes. That if he's
Pretty
a
much.
demoted, do so. And I'm not sure if you'll realize this unless you go on Game Press. Is he still S tier on Game Press? I don't remember
No.
anymore. No, on Game
I think
Press
it's tier-
probably
I think
demoted
it's-
him.
I think it's tier 3 now because auto follow up meta.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, how the
Game
mighty
Press.
have fallen.
Oh my god. Why are you like this, Game Press? Okay, maybe.
To be fair,
maybe,
how much do you fear Dusel and Ether raids? Come on.
For me, I've been traumatized by Duso, so I don't know what you're talking about. I literally got my Ether 8's defense teams auto-battle destroyed by Dusels, and they're all on YouTube. Rest in peace, Bird Jesus. I miss you, man. But like, yes, I've been through that shit. So I respect this. If he's a free Duso, my god, everyone should be using him.
it's interesting. That, yeah, it looks
so
like
here's what I'm thinking.
He
inflicts
panic. He's stat debuffing as well as panicking.
He's inflicting penalties on the nearest foe within 4 spaces, and
no, he's not doing that. Oh, well,
and target foes within 2 spaces of that target, like Mirabella's, for example.
Someone in chat brought up a good thing. It could be something based like
I hope
Reaver
he doesn't
Thor, like
become an
low
orphan.
speed or something.
Yeah, it could also be
stat
within 2 spaces. Oh no, he's not going to be like Orson. He's already much better than Orson.
The big question is what he's doing to do that double, because if that double is as stringent as swords only or like sword axe lances only, that's going to be touchy.
75%.
If it's 75%, I'll take that. That's fine.
But it could also be that it's penalty based, which would work with his weapon.
If it's penalty based, that's ridiculous. It all depends on because keep in mind, by the way, this is one of the only demotes ever to come with an auto follow-up by default. Yeah, this is not something they demote. And he has the stats to boot.
You know, yeah, that's the thing. Even if he doesn't have auto follow-up, his base stats are so usable with so many different things. Jeez.
Yeah, and his speed may look a little wasted, but it does help against weary units.
You do realize, even if somehow that lance is not an auto double lance, we could literally just wait for an auto double lance at this point.
Yeah, you could just wait for that. I mean, it is an auto.
We know it is.
But it is, but it might be a hard one.
Wasn't. That's true. I don't know.
Unless that sword infantry is getting debuffed all the way down to 21 speed, but that map. Wait, we know that map. That's an actual map. That's one of the first maps of this book.
I don't think he could be. The sword infantry base is like 31 speed or something, so
I'll look into that because I'm curious to see if he could have not doubled that. But for reference's sake,
there's a very good reason Jeralt is included here though, because he scored in the top 100 for
he's literally the most wanted 3 houses unit.
He got almost 1,000 units, almost 1,000 votes. What?
It's because he's hot.
Also that.
Oh, clearly.
Well, that's why he got those votes. Which I'm really glad that they didn't just do a Grail and throw him onto a seasonal banner that nobody's ever going to play again.
I am extremely happy for this because Jeralt is one of my maybe not like absolute favorite, but probably in like my top 10 favorite Fire Emblem characters. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you have daddy issues.
I don't feel this way about most Fire Emblem dads. I don't love Grail that much. I think Grail's okay.
All right. Well, my point is, if he's easy auto double, I'm going to even plus 10 him. How do you not? Like,
I'm definitely
legit. I agree.
I might as well already have.
If he literally is at all good himself, I will plus 10 this guy. No questions asked.
I will plus 10.
I'm only going to regret it following Gunter's Lance Cavalier next year.
You can plus 10 him too.
Man, that
I'll plus 10 him too.
All right. But yeah, that's your...
If anybody can find the map that this is, by the way, I actually
It's the most recent chapter with Ascended Celica.
His weapon could be like the Unseen in
You'll
terms of
see it
weapon
with the
breaking.
green dagger. It's only one.
There's no way he could double that.
Oh, part 3. Okay, so that sword oh, that's why, because the Celica's dead. So assuming he got debuffed for 6.
But I will never
he'd have
forget the pain he gave me the
26
moment
speed,
I
which
saw
means that
his
Jeralt
face
shouldn't
here.
double even then.
No.
So listen, I didn't really believe. Like as I said, I put the logic in that banner that you were talking about, a Warriors banner for 3 hopes. If they were gonna do it, they're gonna do it at its release, not afterwards. It didn't make sense.
I mean, to be fair, 3 hopes characters could just be bundled under 3 houses, and they'll do it sometime. They might not be pressuring that, but who knows?
All right. Well, let's sum it up. The last final thing is this: don't waste your flowers on Alphonse, and we're done. Yay!
This is right at reset, so make sure you get those flowers going. Fortunately, we just got all those flowers from the new mode. Love that, by the way.
4,000 flowers.
Nice.
I can't believe it.
4,000 flowers from the Forging Bonds as well. Yeah, that's an instant +5 on any unit for each type. And then add the the Binding World stuff. Yeah, you could +5 2 infantries right out the gate. That's really nice.
All right. So yeah,
and you can use them on Jeralt. So.
+25 Dragon Flowers Legion. Let's +25 Dragon Flowers.
I'm going to use them on Har because I'm very invested in Har.
Is this just one or all FBs? What?
It's just this next one.
Just this one. Only the Scorching Bonds will have that 1,000 Dragonfires per.
Oh, yeah.
If it were added for all...
With all the new sources of Dragon Flowers, though, it is pretty nice. Like, Dragon Flowers are a lot easier to get.
It's a very regular thing.
Please. Don't take away from Hall of Forms, but make Binding Worlds a common mode. Because
I hope the Binding Worlds isn't like the frequency of Frontline Phalanx.
Yeah, because they aren't running Frontline Phalanx, Grand Conquest, or Rook or Siege.
They knew Frontline Phalanx was a failure. That's why they gave up on it.
Frontline Phalanx, am I right?
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, no. Make Binding Worlds like monthly or bi-monthly. It's easy. It's fun. It gives so many good rewards. Please give more of that.
Chat, I downloaded the trailer a while ago. It's just... Okay, I'll go over it. But I'm surprised you guys keep asking for it. We already...
we already literally saw everything.
I mean, I guess it's just to see the trailer. It'll...
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, I think you'll get them chapter music, I guess.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I was wondering what that was going to be, actually.
Okay. Well, let's do that then. By let's, I mean me. All right. Yay. We did it. We went over Choose Your Legends 2022. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Right.
Let's go over the trailer.